ever feel anxious about not having enough saved for retirement, even when you're trying your best? I was looking through Reddit the other day, and I came across a post from someone in Massachusetts. They are working a job that pays $19 an hour. It's not a lot, but they're doing their best. They're putting 7% of that into a retirement fund. They wrote that they don't think they'll ever have millions saved, and that makes them anxious. They said they lie awake at night thinking about how they'll make it work, but what really keeps them up is their parents. Their parents are in their 60s, and they only have $122,000 saved. This person wrote, "I'm so worried about how I'll help them in a few years. I don't even know where to start." In the comments, people shared their own worries. One person said they're in the same spot. They're also working a low-paid job, and they feel the same pressure. Another person wrote, "I've been helping my parents for years. It's exhausting." Someone else said, "I wish I could stop thinking about it, but I can't." They all want to feel less stressed, to not carry this weight all the time. They just want some peace so they can rest without that constant worry. There's this old Chinese philosopher, Lao Tzu. He wrote a book called the Tao Te Ching, and he had this idea called Wu Wei. It means not forcing things. Lao Tzu might look at this person's worry and say, "You're trying to carry too much. You're trying to fix your parents' savings and your own all at once. But you can't control how much they saved or how much you'll need in the future." He'd say, "When you keep worrying about things you can't change, you're like someone trying to hold water in your hands. It slips through, and you just get frustrated. You end up feeling more tired, more stuck." Lao Tzu might suggest, step back, look at what you can do. You're already putting 7% into your fund. That's something. That's a start. Maybe you can sit down with your parents, see what they need, and plan together. Maybe they need help with small things, like paying a bill. Or maybe they just need to know you're there. But don't try to solve it all tonight, he'd say. When you stop fighting what you can't control, you'll feel lighter. You're not trying to carry the whole future. You're just taking care of today. And that, it helps you rest because you're not running a race you can't win. You're just doing what you can, one day at a time. Another comment in that same thread caught my eye. Someone wrote about how they feel torn. They said they're stuck between two things. On one hand, in the US, the cost of care when you're old can be over $100,000 a year. If you want a nice place, good care. That means you need a lot saved. They wrote, "I've seen my grandparents in a care home. It's so expensive. And I don't want to end up struggling like that." But on the other hand, they said, if you spend all your time saving, you might miss out on life. What if you wait until you're too old to travel or too tired to enjoy things? They wrote, "I don't want to just work for 40 years and then be too broken down to live. I want to live now, but I'm scared." In the replies, people agreed. One person said, "I've been saving so much, I forgot how to enjoy my days." Another wrote, "I took my family on a small trip last year. It felt so good, but I still worry I'm not saving enough." Someone else said, "I don't know how to find the balance. I'm always stuck between the two. They all want a way to feel okay, to not feel stuck between the present and the future. They just want to feel like they're doing enough without losing the life they have now. Lao Tzu might have some thoughts on this. He often talked about living in the moment and not letting society push you into a race. He'd say, when you're always saving for tomorrow or always chasing what you don't have, you're not really here. You're missing what's in front of you. You're missing the small things, like a quiet morning with your coffee or a laugh with your kids. Lao Tzu might suggest, don't let the fear of the future steal your peace today. He'd say, you don't need to save every dollar or live every moment like it's your last. Instead, find what makes you feel alive. Maybe that's a small trip with your kids, just a weekend away, or a quiet evening with a good book. Something simple, something that makes you smile. Do that and keep saving what you can. Maybe it's just a little each month, but don't let society tell you that you need to have it all, that you need millions or a perfect life. Lao Tzu would say, when you stop running after what you don't have, you'll see what you do have. You'll feel content, not because you have everything, but because you're not always chasing more. And that contentment, it helps you rest because you're not stuck between yesterday and tomorrow. You're just here, right now, living your life, day by day. A more story from that thread. A 58-year-old wrote, I don't think I'll ever be able to retire. They said they have very little saved. When they were younger, they didn't understand how important it was to save. They wrote, I wish I'd learned about saving earlier, but I didn't. I thought I'd have more time, and they had to use what they had to get through tough times. They don't own a house, so they can't rely on that. They said, I've been renting for years, and it's hard to save when you're always paying rent. They wrote, I just want to rest, but I can't stop worrying about what's next. I don't know how I'll make it. They even shared a lesson. They said, if you're younger, start saving now so you don't end up like me. In the comments, people felt for them. One person wrote, I'm 45, and I'm scared I'll be in the same spot. Another said, I wish I'd started saving sooner too. Someone else shared, I'm trying to save now, but it feels like it's too late. They all want a way to feel less afraid, to not feel so stuck. They just want to find some calm so they can rest without that fear. Lao Tzu might have an idea for this. He often talked about accepting things as they are and finding peace in what you have. He'd say, when you worry about what you don't have, you're fighting against what's already done. You can't go back and save more. And that fight, it only makes you tired. It keeps you up at night. Lao Tzu might suggest, look at your life now. You may not have a big savings or a house, but you have something. Maybe it's a job that pays the bills or a family that cares about you. Maybe it's a friend who checks in on you or a small hobby that makes you happy. Start there, you say. If you can, put a little aside each month, even if it's just a few dollars. It's something. But don't let the worry about what you don't have make you forget the good things you do have. Lao Tzu would say, when you accept where you are, you'll feel calmer. You're not stuck in what could have been. You're just here, working with what you've got. And that calm, it helps you rest because you're not battling with the past or the future. You're just living, day by day, one step at a time. These stories, they show how much we can worry about the future, but Lao Tzu's ideas, they help us find a way to let go, to live now, to accept what is. Take a deep breath. Let your thoughts drift. Share what you thought of these stories in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Subscribe for more tomorrow at 8:50 p.m. Eastern Time, US. I'll share more stories to help you rest, sleep well. Good night.